Okay, in this video, we're gonna check out ignoring certain directories when we use the walkdir or reader methods. Okay, in Go, if you are recursively listing directories, files, the usual way is with filepath walk or walkdir, and you return filepath.SkipDir when you hit a directory you want to ignore. Example with a walkdir, modern way. Okay, so we gotta ignore directory. It's a map. This is the key value, which is a string, and a boolean. So the keys are node modules, git, vendor. So these are all true. So we are checking if the dir entry is a directory and ignored the name. So ignored. So if we access using the key, if it exists, it returns true or something. I mean, how? SkipDir. Just the folder name. D name. Okay, folder name. D name is the folder name. So we already know. So this enters. This can only run because we already know it's a directory. So by the time this runs, it's a directory. So we are getting the directory name. Path, full path. So where is it? Where are we using full path? Where are we using the path? I don't see. Okay, so yep, this callback always gets the full path. But I don't see if we are using. Okay, we are just printing it. We're not doing anything. So when we return filepath.SkipDir, like here, I believe this is some sort of a error that is used to communicate with the walkdir, that it's not exactly error, but some sort of like a way to communicate with the walkdir to skip the directory. Ignore based on full path instead. We could use the full path, but that's gonna be messy, but we don't usually know the full path, right? Or we could ignore based on patterns. If you want git dist temp file extra etc to ignored. So this is basically an array, right? So we are looping over it and checking if the directory matches, then we return skip when we skip it. Basically, if using OS dir manually, OS read dir is a low level. Everything in the OS package is low level, methods and shit. You don't want to use them. Basically, I think you just check before recursing. If I continue, so OS reader returns entries basically, right? And then we loop over those entries and we can check and ignore a looping skip that loop. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's start from scratch. First we need to add this at the top, package main, and then we need to create the main function. I got a path. I'm gonna remove the double quote and wrap it with the template literal or backticks or whatever you call it in the Go. I'm gonna use the file path walkdir. So this is the high level file path as a high level methods. So this takes path and then callback function. This gets path and let's see of walkdir function. All right, so this function takes a path and it gets path os dir entry and error. So os dir entry and error and returns error. What's going on here? Let's try the quick fix. Yeah, we forgot the string type basic path. Okay. All right. So we need to create a map of ignored directories, a map where we keep directories we want to ignore. Ignored map string key value pairs. Okay, let's say I want to ignore the study folder. So I'm gonna keep the study. I want to ignore study. True or something. So our map is kind of weird. Let's just fix it. Okay, ignored map string O return type. First, we need to check D is dir and ignored D name. If it is, we return file path.SkipDir. Else we only print all the directory is dir, then fmt println d name return nil. So we're basically checking if it's a directory and does it is it in the map. If it's in the map, skip it. If it's a directory, print the name. So we are ignoring files or I think. So we are only printing the directory, everything else gets ignored. So these are all the directories. These are all wait a minute, are they sorted alphabetically? I don't think so. I don't think it ignored the I don't think it ignored looking into the directories. Usually, right, you have a map and you use the key, it should return the value. Okay, the return value is true, so that works. Anyway, what if I wanted to only return the study? So we check is it the directory and is it in the ignored. Instead of ignored, let's call this allowed and use the allowed and return nil. Also print fmt println d name, else pretty much like return file SkipDir. And then we don't really need this because it handles every case. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Why didn't it print study dir even though it exists? It starts at videos first, your code does so on the very first call, it's not in the allowed, goes to else, returns skip dir. That does go stop working this directory entirely, so it never even gets inside to find study fix. You only want to skip directories after you enter root, not kill the whole walk. Okay, root, skip the non-root, skip non-root directories that are not allowed. Path is not root, and wait a minute, this is path is not root. Okay, makes sense. Allowed dir. Okay, this is inverted. So this is our current logic. Is it a dir? Is it in the allowed? Print it. Is it a dir? And is it, so it's a directory and it's not root and it's not allowed in the map. That's the logic, right? So what's wrong with our logic is it just starts at the root, and then since it's not even in the wait a minute, it's not even in the allowed, it just ignores it. Let's just allow videos true. Should work, I think. What the hell? Do we even have study or something? Okay, let's just print fmt, print ln, print ln d name. Why is this not running? Directory. We screwed up the spelling. Directory videos. It only ran for the two. Wait a minute. Let's return nil. So this is doing something. This return black is doing something. Let's ask ChatGPT again. What's with our function? What's wrong? Still same logic trap. Starts at videos, allowed, prints videos, continue. Enters first child inside videos. Now imagine children, study, allowed, print, study, continue. Not a direct your condition. For movie, false, condition fails, it else returns SkipDir. SkipDir here tells Walker to skip the current directory's remaining contents. This is clownery. Core issue, you are using SkipDir as if it means ignore this item, but it actually means don't descend further into this directory, stop processing siblings in some cases. That's a big difference. If item is not a directory, just ignore it. Skip directories not allowed. But wait, another trap. This still won't work. How do you think? Suppose structure is random study. So studies in random folder. When you go see it's random, not in allowed, SkipDir. So it never reaches study inside random. If you mean print only allowed dirs, but still walk everything. Okay. If array handling directory allowed print dir name return no SkipDir. If you mean wait a minute. Our problem arises because we are using SkipDir. So I encounter a file that's not a directory. So if the else block runs and it calls skip directory, it's not skipping directory, it's just skipped the root directory, so it doesn't run other directories. Cool. This actually worked. But this worked, but it also went through all the directories. We just don't see it. What's the best approach here? We don't want to call skip directory if it's a regular file. How do we know? If D is dir. So when we find a regular file, this directory will be false. We make it true, and we just ignore it, return nil. We don't want to process anything. If it's a directory and if it's a directory true and allowed the name. So if it's a directory and it's not in this, then we can safely skip it. Skip directory. If it's a directory and it's in here, cool. This logic should work. This is crazy. This is okay. Wait a minute. It's a directory. Oh, again, that's the same problem. When we first run it, it's gonna start with the videos. It's a directory and it's gonna skip it, and we don't even begin processing it. Let's add another and. So we got a path. The path, let's say file path text as a base method, right? Base. Where's base? The text path. This probably returns, hopefully. God damn it. Probably takes the path. So we want to check there not equal to this or something. Let's ask the ChatGPT. So what I'm trying to do is I'm checking whether it's a directory and the directory base name. So it's not this folder. If it's not this folder, we can safely skip it. And the folder is not here, we can also skip it. So that is the logic. Okay, this is a JavaScript syntax. Invading Go does not exist in Go. Also, dir returns a bool, so this part makes no sense. What the hell? Okay, you're comparing true or false to string. I think you meant if this is a directory and it's not the root directory and it's not allowed, skip it. It's not the root directory, so it's not the root directory. Path is okay. Path already gives us the full the full absolute path. Path is not equal to, what the hell, dude? Okay, let's just use another value for this. Root root we can't use that, bruh. Okay, cool. Okay, the condition kind of looks convoluted. All right, so essentially we're trying to skip it instead of not processing it, right? So where do we process it? Okay, this part, wait a minute. We want to process whatever is in the study directory, right? Okay, in the study directory, I have some more directories. How do I list it? So it skips it. Prints the name, return nil. I have no idea. Okay, this is getting convoluted. So we do enter the study directory, we walk through it, but it just skips it. Our this block just skips the directories because it's a directory, it's not root, it's not in the allowed directory. It's okay, it just skips it. So instead, so this is probably what our folder looks like. We got a study and subfolder and file. So the path is not root, cool. Subfolder not in allowed, so that's wrong. So it skips it. So it skips subfolder inside study. That's because my rule says only directories named in allowed can be entered. Once I enter an allowed directory, walk everything inside it. So this is what I want. Need to track whether current path is inside an allowed path. The current path. So if I print here, we're gonna get all the current paths, right? This is where we are skipping, but we can, if we print it, we're gonna get all the folders, files, and shit getting printed here. Probably, hopefully. I don't think so, but I don't think it's gonna print it because the root, the direct childrens of the root will also be running this block. So yep, I'm gonna copy this code and see if it even works, because I don't think it will work. So this is our culprit. So I'm gonna check this logic later, but for now let's just print ln path. So by the time we pass all this check, we should be in the study directory. All right, so we are in the study directory. So this runs. So the weird thing about walkdir is that it also it also like gives us the top directory or every directory, right? So if I ran it on the videos, it gives me videos directory, and also every directory inside that directory also gets a directory. So that's why we see this. So what we probably wanted is this, right? We need another checking for the root path and the path we want to allow, and we want to process it some way. We can just return nil to ignore them. We don't want to return skip directory. That would be very wrong. So this works, right? So we got some convoluted stuff going on here. If not root and not inside an allowed directory, skip. So this is the logic to skip it. This and this. We are looping over allowed map, and we take the root and name. So basically we get the full path of our study. And every time we get the path, the walkthrough gives us path, we check if it has a prefix allowed path. If it has a prefix, we set inside allowed true, and then we break out of the loop. And this is our core logic. We are checking if we want to allow if the path is a root. We want to skip if the path is not root and it's not in the allowed list, and it's not inside allowed, and it's not in the allowed map. So these are the folders, I think. I do have videos inside them, right? But they're not printing. we can get rid of this check, which checks for if it's not a directory, it's just gonna return nil. So now we should get videos inside those folders. Wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, the reason this fails is because we got a file that it's not a directory, it's just some weird looking file, regular file that checks all of our stuff to and somehow ends up returning SkipDir. So it's not the root directory, and it doesn't like enter this block because it's not in the allowed path. So its value is inside allowed is false. So this value becomes true because we are negating it, and this is not in allowed map. And we also need to check is dir. So d is dir. Okay, this probably should fix it. Great, now we have everything. Now we got the path. We're gonna check d is dir, so we're gonna go to mode or something. Is dir. So we got type is regular. This piece of shit always comes. So we're gonna check if it's a regular file, and now we print it. fmt print ln d name. Oh shit, what's going on? Now we should wait some minutes. What's going on here? At the end of these are not in the allowed list, but they're still getting printed. We are also getting printed. The directory is also getting printed. What is going on, bro? Like, what is? So the only time we are printing, okay, wait a minute. There's another print statement here at the top. My bets. Okay, now I hope. Let me print the path. Hopefully everything should start with study. Great. These are all files and they are inside study. All right. So we got some videos or some files that are outside of my allowed directory. The reason is we are skipping directories, but we're not skipping files. So we can add another check. So the next check is probably to prevent regular files. So we can just do the same thing, do the same check. We'll take this, and if is allowed is false, okay, this should skip all the regular files outside of my allowed directory. Okay, we got study. Cool. Now this works. Let me ask ChatGPT to fix this, optimize this stuff. Optimize this code. Yeah, this works, but you're recomputing allowed path, looping through the map for every single file and directory. That's wasteful. You are recomputing allowed path. What you mean, recomputing allowed path? Yep, we are recomputing allowed path in the loop. Root and name. What is this? Yeah, dude, like allowed path. What is this? So this allowed path is basically takes a loops over allowed map and constructs the strings. So maybe we need to loop over it and save it globally or something. So this code runs every time. Like this callback function runs every time. So this code runs every single time. So we probably want to keep this outside. Cleaner version. So we got the root, and we got the allowed and error handling. What is this? File path relate put root path rel path. What is rel? Okay, we got rel path. I don't know. Path split list rel. First folder under root decides if this branch is allowed. First rel if len split clean. Dude, this is getting ridiculously complicated. So I'm gonna save this and go through line by line. Okay, first question, what is this? Filepath.Rel, what does this do? What does this do? Filepath.Rel base target gives you the path from base to target. Rel study math file before it strips off the root part, root itself, means same directory. Child directory study result study math this result Mr. So this we need to go one folder up, meaning go one level, then into documents. Why we used it? If Vector gives us video study math file mp3 mp4 that's annoying to analyze directly, turns it into study math. Now you can easily grab split rel string path separator. What the hell is this? Okay, we need to save this. Let's create a folder called references. Here let's create file path rel. What is this? What is this? This line is doing give me the first folder in the relative path. Break it down. OS path separator. Okay, on Windows, OS path separator is this backward slash. On Linux is the forward slash. So this makes your code work cross-platform. Strings.Split rel separator. It splits a string into pieces. So split. So this is the common method you can find on other programming languages that takes a string and some sort of a value to split it. So if we use the backward slash, it's gonna give us first study math and file mp3. This takes the first element, so study first study. Why we do this? Suppose your tree, so for file split takes study. Now check if true skip keep walking, if false skip whole branch. Small optimization. Instead of allocating a slice with split, go as this is what is going on? What's going on? Go as strings.Cut. This is cleaner and faster because it stops after first separator. I don't understand this. Cut first. That's the Giga Chat version. Okay. File path. I mean it's string split. It's the strings. Okay, strings split, and we have strings.Cut. Okay, let's also create strings.Cut. Strings.Cut. Shit. What's this? This goes split once function, cleaner than split 0. First rest found. Strings.Cut returns 3 values: before separator, after separator, whether separator was found. Example, we got a string and we're cutting the string and passing the separator. So the first output, the separator, before the separator, after the separator, true. So instead of giving us three you know parts, it gave us two. Separator was backward slash, so rest body. So go to mean I don't care about this value, throw it away. So this is short and far. So why is this better than split? What happens? Split whole string, allocate slice. Okay, slice. So basically an array. Store every part. Take first one. Wasteful if you only need first. What happens? Find first separator. Return before after. Done. No splitting entire thing. So very common Go pattern. Give me first result, throw the rest in the trash. So we got, let's see, copy. Shit. Where the hell is my notes on how to ignore directory? Am I blind? Shit. Check if it's directory, get path, file, helpers, append, create, wrapper, ignore certain folders. There we go. Let's pin it. So we got rel, root path. Okay, let's start from scratch. This works, so let's just grab it and save it. My code. First, ignore directories. Okay, first we need to use the root, which hopefully I have it here. Bruh. All right, so this is my root folder and the allowed folder is study. So I want to go through this folder. Don't know what the hell I'm doing. And we use filepath, walkdir, takes the root, takes another function that takes path, which is a string, and a d, which is dir entry, fs dir entry, hopefully, and error, which is error, return error. Return nil. So the IDE shuts up. Okay, now what? So file path rel root path. So this basically takes the path and strips away the root part. So file path rel root path, and we get a rel and an error. We're gonna ignore the error. Okay, let's just print everything. Print ln and print rel. Declared and not used. So essentially we ignored this part. Every path, like where is it? Every rel thingy is stripped away. So we used rel to strip away this part basically. So the next step is splitting those and getting the first part. So we need to use strings.Split. This takes let's see, as string separator. So the separator, we need to use the built-in OS separator thingy. Where is it? Path separator. Wait a minute. Split list. Okay, let's do that. Strings split list. What was it? File path has split list. File path split list, that takes rel. Let's call this temp and temp. So what do we get? Always imported and not used. File utils temp. Wait a minute. I have no idea what is this. Looks like full path. Maybe let's call ring or something. It does not have string. Okay. I switched back to standard format package, and when I do it, it kind of lists everything in the folder and gives me the path. So this split list rel. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything. It's just puts it in a array or something. Yeah, because it's the wrong function here. You thought, but does not split path it splits path lists like environment variables. What split list actually does, Windows path variable. This returns, wait a minute. So we got semicolon. When we call on that string, we get this. Notice separator. We got semicolon, colon, your case. Go looks for, finds none, so result is one big string in an array. What you actually wanted. This is the guy that welcome to ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT just trolled a bit here. So this function call is, I don't even know why it exists. So this is not really doing anything, this part. So first folder under root decides if this branch is allowed. So we get the rel, relative. So basically path rel is path stripped a string that's stripped away the root path part. So if length, let's see, this shit is doing this split list thingy again. Length is like 1, so I is 1, I is greater than 0. First clean rel. What does clean rel do anyway? What's this doing? That code is kind of cursed. Let's unpack it. If this is goes short variable declaration inside if len something same as len, except I only exists inside the if. So this is the declaration kind of initialization or whatever thingy that only in the if scope. Okay, only exists inside the if. filepath.SplitList, as we talked about wrong function here, then returns because no then. So it's almost true, meaning this whole if basically useless. First, filepath.Clean normalizes path. Example rel result. Okay, it fixes double slashes, current directory, parent directory in our case. It does basically nothing. First split first takes custom helper probably does return study, so it grabs first folder. God damn it. Instead of loop through. So this shit is useless. The only useful part is this custom function that takes path and what the range path. There's only one string, bruh. We get index and value. Where's path separator? If R is equal to voice path separator return. Wait a minute. What the hell is this? What's this doing? This function manually says find the first slash or thingy in the path and return everything before it. Split first, step by step. Input this thingy for loops through string character by character. This guy, bruh. At each step, index our character value, character rune, visual as. Okay, check separator. If on Windows at this condition becomes true, return slice. That means give string from start up to not including index 5. So we get to study. If no separator exists, loop through, no slash found, fast through, return path, returns study. It's basically doing what this shit does. Your function manual version of cut in plain English. This custom function just takes the path and returns the first folder. Give me the only first folder name. It works, but Go already has built-in tools for this, so writing this manual is kinda reinventing the wheel. You're the one who did it, bruh. If allowed first, so checks the folder if D is a directory, return skip directory. Okay, so this is important, dude. We only return skip directory if it's a directory. We don't want to skip directory in a regular file. That's gonna like skip the root directory. If D type is regular, print the path. This version is kind of cursed implementation. Kind of cursed, does a lot of things manually, but let's see if it works. We will strip away the useless parts. Okay, this is not even working, dude. Like, what is going on? Okay, time to debug this shit. We got root, allowed. Okay, file path, error handling. Okay, we know for a fact this works. This just strips away the root part. Error handling. File split list. This is useless. Basically, split list splits the string on semicolon. So len part return nil. Wait a minute. So this could be, since we are returning nil, it probably is skipping everything. So what's going on? We don't want that. Okay, this should probably fix it, right? Okay, that didn't fix it. Length, this is gonna be like always true. As we looked at, this whole if block is useless, so let's comment that out first. Okay, about now. This is also useless, eh? Let's print this fmt. println, we should be getting first. So we should be printing study, right? Every time you should print study, but it's not printing study. What the hell? Okay, what about fmt println first? I'm just debugging this, bro. Like, what's going on? fmt println rel. Okay, what is this path? Are we missing something? Or so root and path fmt println. Okay, let's root. Let's use root is root path is path. So root is this, path is this. That's why we got rel. So the first is rel. So root and path are same when we do this, when we call rel on what is this, a base path and target path, which are same, we just get a dot. So first rel, all of this is just dot. Split first just returns dot. So if allowed first returns dot. So we just this needs to be okay. Basically first should not equal to dot, basically. All right, great. Let's see, let's remove some of the print statements. Okay, so we should be printing just the file names now. Also, what is this path? So we got a path and a directory. What is going on? So there's got to be another print statement here somewhere. Oops. All right, let's see. So this is the working version. So we get we just trim it, and then we are trying to get the first first folder. So this rel gives us this strips away this part, and we need to get the first folder. So we can call strings.Cut takes the relative and the separator. So for the separator, we can use OS path separator string. Okay, OS path separator. OS path separator. Okay. Convert this to string. OS path separator. So this gives us the first and the rest. And what is it? So this gives us before, after, found. So we don't want to error handle it. We don't need this, and we also don't need this. If allowed, checks if it's allowed in the list, and this is so that we ignore the first iteration where the directory is just a root directory, and skip directory, regular path. So now we don't need this custom garbage function. All right, everything is working. Now let's add some more stuff. Let's ignore allowed is, let's see, completed. What about completed? Completed. It does not have any files. How about this? How to use? True. So we got study, and it should, yep, it contains how to use. So these are the only files that are getting printed. So I'm gonna copy this and keep it in my notes. All right. So we allowed only folders. How about we disallow and allow everything? Okay, let's say disallow, and yep, file path walk dir root function path string d dir entry fs dir entry error and error return nil. Okay, so we need to find study and how to use. So we can only disallow top level folders, right? If we strip away the root thingy, if we strip away the root thingy, we'll start with study how to use. So we can only disallow the top level folders. We cannot disallow the nested folders. So first we're gonna try to find disallow the top level folders, write direct children's of the root folder, basically, right? Okay, file path rel, this takes root and path, hopefully. So rel fmt println rel. All right, so we got files and shit. Basically we got a ton of shit, but let's just print to the directory. So d if d is dir, then print fmt println d name. Whoa. So these are all the folders. What the hell? Okay, now we just need to ignore. We just need to ignore first. We need to get the first folder. So we can use strings package as cut method, and we pass the rel and o. We can convert os path separator to string. This returns hopefully first and the rest, and whether it was successful. And now we print first. So this should give us the top level thingy, right? So these are all the top level thingy. Now if it's a directory and it's in the where is it disallow as the name, then we print, we skip it, file path SkipDir we probably want to use, I think, first return SkipDir, and we is this dir, and then we print dir name. So hopefully it doesn't contain the study and homework folder. So these are all the folders and nested folders. So we essentially skipped study and how to use. Let's print the path. Yep. Now the question is, how do we disallow nested folders? How do we disallow nested nested folder? Right now you're only checking that only gives the first folder under root. Example, study notes, rel movies, study notes. First becomes movies. So study nested inside never gets checked. If you want to disallow any folder at any depth, just check the current directory name. Okay, current directory name. And just check the current directory name. Disallow is in the name. Okay. So let's say here I want to disallow test. I got some goofy ass test folders. Disallow first, or hopefully disallow the name. Let's see. Does this work? But operator president gonna bite you. You wrote go reach it like operator precedence. So we got is this directory? Is it inside the disallow? Is the first in the disallow? Is dname in the disallow? Go reads first this checks and only runs this. Suppose path mp3 is directory files, dname directory dname study. Then wait a minute, why is this dname study? What the hell? Go then files something disallow study. If disallow study is true, then files are false, true. So you might return SkipDir for something that isn't even a directory. Correct version. If you mean if it's a directory and either first folder or current folder is disallowed. Okay. So first we need to make sure that D is the directory and disallow first or disallow the name. Okay. All right. This is pretty complicated, but what we are essentially doing is we are making sure D is always directory because we want to skip a directory. And then we make sure it's either the first is inside of the disallow or dname is inside the disallow. If either case is true, we skip the directory. So this is the top level check and this is the nested level check. So hopefully there is no test. There is no test here. Let's see. Let's also get rid of components. Let's get rid of components. Components. True. Let's get rid of After Effects. Wait a minute, After Effects. All right. So we got rid of After Effects. Seems like it's working. Okay. So we learned how to disallow folders, right? We disallow the top level folder. We also disallow nested folders. So you can either pick one. So currently our script disallows the top level and the nested level folders. Okay, let's check out the code again. So we got the root folder, and then we got a map of key string map to booleans. So the strings are the folders I want to ignore. So the walk directory, so this is the callback implementations. I'm just providing a callback. Takes a path and a directory, dir entry, and error, returns error. We can return filepath.SkipDir error to tell the vector that we want to ignore that folder. And we're using filepath.Rel root path. This takes basically takes a base path and target path and kind of strips away the base path from the target path, and we get a relative rel thingy, and then we get the first folder from the relative path, and we check if the path, if that folder, if that directory is in the disallow, or if the current folder is in the disallow. If that's the case, we just skip that directory and we're only printing the directories. We're not interested in the files. We're not, it is, checking the files, but we are not, doing useful operations on them. I have a script called metadata that takes that's like this, that takes a d flag. After the d flag, I give it the path and it accepts a summary flag. So when I run this, it lists all the videos and is metadata basically. So at the end of the script, I got a summary, lists some stats about how many videos we have and the total size and the total runtime of those videos and corrupted files. Corrupt broken files are basically files missing duration. So when when the OBS it gets interrupted, it gets it doesn't add it doesn't add the duration. So the videos will have its duration missing. So MPV doesn't play those. I mean, it does play it, but it doesn't display the duration correctly. So I have to fix the broken files. That's why I have this. So this is running in Python, and you saw how long it took. It's running sequentially, and it's calling ff probe under the hood to get the resolution, frame rate, the codec, the duration, file size, and this is the bit rate. So we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna fetch file size and shit for regular files. So let's ask ChatGPT to implement the same thing. Can you go through all the regular files in a directory and put some metadata about the files? What's your approach? I want you to use emojis. Here's how I approach it in Go. Walk through the directory, use vector recursive, oyster just one folder, filter only regular files, skip folders, skip weird stuff, okay? Check with type is regular, collect metadata for each file. For every file, name, equals name, already given by path, okay, cool. File info, file size, modified time, this permission extension can also meme type by extension if you want to get fancy. Store metadata in a struct, then append to a slice. Skip junk if needed. Node modules. Use SkipDir. Optional extra metadata if you want to be spicy, as detect video image dimension, audio metadata, page count, tag, categories. My actual thought process. Walk tree. For each item, is it file? Yes, collect metadata. Is it folder? Maybe skip or continue. Weird, symlink, store all result in printed, save as station, save it in dense or short filter. Okay, so we got some blueprint. Not really my code. Let's just call this, put it in project, and let's call this get metadata. Okay, don't use concurrency or go routine. Just use what we are using so far and don't get don't call, just get the metadata. Go already provides use emojis and print it to the terminal. Keep it simple, same walkthrough, no go routine gigachart nonsense. Walkthrough folder, skip directory, and regular files, get metadata, weird stuff, ignore. For each regular file, name, full path, size, modified time, permission, extension. Go already gives this from the info. So yeah, cool. So currently this gives us the metadata for every files. We're gonna ignore some folders later. Let's see what is this using for the root folder. Okay, it's using videos. Cool. All right, we got some stuff. That was pretty fast. Freaking fast. Because we were not calling ffmpeg, that's why it was fast. Now okay, let's sort them by size, and also save the sorted list to JSON locally. One extra flow. Collect metadata into slice, sort by size, print sorted JSON, print sorted files, save JSON locally. Instead of printing immediately, we store each file in struct first. Import okay, file metadata, file meta struct. Oops. This guy, dude. Okay, where are we saving? So we're saving it into sorted files JSON. Cool. Should have sorted JSON. What's going on? Size. File bytes. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna check out the code later. Sort by size. Find human size. Use this function for the size string. Okay. Format size. use a detailed type. You can import them from file utils. So file utils dot human size and file utils dot detailed. Instead of storing raw bytes only in terminal, we can also store them in human size using keep both size raw bytes, good for sorting, human size human, pretty for printing JSON. Okay. Now we should have, okay, it only uses in the JSON, I think, or whatever. Let's run this. Let's get rid of the sorted JSON file. Okay, filelet package file is not in the stand. What the hell did this did? God. Okay. Learning go. All right. Already got some useful shit. What is this? So we sorted files on my videos folder by size. Okay. Now what happens if I call this in root? Let's call this in the root. Now also add disallow folders. Okay, disallow folders, where is it? Disallow. Where did I keep the disallow thingy? Couldn't find it. It should ignore them if it's in the nested folder or it starts with them. I'm gonna run this on C drive. So come up with folders I don't want to walk through. I use no web dev projects and Android projects. So ignore system files and shit. Since you're scanning, you absolutely do not want to walk through Windows system dev junk or this thing will crawl forever. We skip a directory if current directory name matches disallow. Example, Windows, node modules, build. Path start with system roots. Example, uh, that avoids descending into entire cursed branches. Good disallow list for you. Skip this at root, Windows, program files, x86, program data recovery, perflog system, volume information, recycle bin, web dev, node modules, next, dest, build, coverage, cast, turbo, git, Android, Gradle, build, ideas, external native captures, user, junk caches, update, attempt, clean approach. Use two checks. Catches nested junk anywhere. As prefix path root bad path catches huge top level system dirts instantly. Okay. Can C drive. Okay. Here goes nothing. Oops. Learning go. Okay. We wait. Let me also start a timer. Where the hell is clock? That was really fast. Let's go. Okay. I think, yeah, this is correct. So basically, we sorted our files by the size, right? There's another tool, WinDirstat. You can use this. Essentially, this does the same thing. So you can scan duplicate. You can run it. This also does the same thing, and it took like 3 to 4 seconds, and you can do the largest file. As you can see, let's see. Let's compare this to my garbage. So the page files is the largest file, and we are, and then course, Harvard, makes sense. And then system image. So we are ignoring app data. And the next one is hyperfilsis. I don't know. Oh, we did not ignore that. User data. Okay. Apparently. this gets at the top, but it's 7 or 8 gigabytes, and this one is 9 gigabytes. So yep, we were able to sort our C drive. Pretty cool. Don't go randomly deleting shit because it's huge or something. You don't want to do that. Also, don't even bother deleting page files. Windows automatically creates it anyway. So now we need to look at how ChatGPT came up with this answer. Well, let's see if we can figure it out. So we got root, and we got a disallow list and disallow roots. So this is something we did. This is not something we did. So this is a slice of strings. So basically an array. So file meta slice of array. So files. So file path, walkdir, same thing, garbage, handle, error, and system skip system roots. So we are looping over the range disallow roots if strings as prefix path bad. Okay, disallow list. So value bad, strings as prefix true. So we are checking as prefix. So as prefix takes basically checks if the path as these starts with this. Basically, I think if it starts with that, it just skips the directory and skip junk directs anywhere. So disallow. So we check again. We need to check for whether it's a directory, and we only skip directory if it's a directory. And if it's in the disallow list, we skip it. So this is any like this catches even if it's nested, because we are calling on the current directory dir name. So we can be 100% sure it's a directory because we only check the directories. Regular files. So if it's not a regular files, we don't even bother processing it. We just return nil, and we are getting info. If it's an error, we return nil. So we are getting the size, and everything else should be able to get it from from the dir entry or info. So name, we can get the name, path, size human. Okay, file utils, that's my custom function. Modified, you can get it from info, permission, extension. Okay, now we sort. So sort is a package, has a slice method. I don't know why. It takes biggest first, so it takes the files and takes a custom function ijint, returns boolean, returns files I size, j size, boolean. So it is kind of a function that sort of sorts it by taking in a callback function. I don't know why I'm calling it. It's a higher order function, essentially a function that takes another function, uses that function to decide whether to put it in front or back or something. So we loop over the files and we print it on the terminal. And then we use Marshall indent to neatly, format the JSON and save it. Cool.